We will naturally get together with those partners who will make us more strong in the competition, because only some will actually make it. And we want to be part of those partnerships that do make it.
So basically, you can see capacity building is more for cost optimization, and capability building is more for differentiation and innovation. So we have many good examples for sourcing R&D projects, but we also have a lot of examples of failures. I don't want to go through them, but you know, you are bound to make mistakes also. But all in all, I would say that going forward, if I look 25 years ahead, I would say that this is a trend. It occurs to us, it occurs to many mid-sized companies, especially large-sized companies, companies like Siemens or Alstom or so. And they are probably many years ahead of us in building real R&D centers in different places of the world.
I would like to comment on Jørgen Mads Clausen's speech. You mentioned how you now are a global company, and in fact, you have excellent relations to research centers and universities across the globe. I think one of the things that you can probably do, which you will benefit a little bit from yourself, but which the world community will benefit significantly from, is that you help in networking the research communities, the university communities. We do know each other, but in fact, we don't know everybody we should know. And in fact, it's a totally impossible task of sorting out who we should know. So therefore, every time there are unique insights on where could there be valuable connections, it would be great if they were brought forward. And sometimes it's got to be altruistic. That is, it's not necessarily one where you benefit immediately, but in the long term we all benefit.
I would just say on the collaboration issue that the onus on the policymakers to provide funding with the right conditions that satisfies the public accountability and isn't just giving money to industry for nothing. But at the same time is conditions which are not so onerous that, you know, the companies don't come forward. That's something that has to be worked through, and we haven't done a lot of that in this particular sphere, and so we need to build that experience and build the ability and the capacity to do it. And I think there are other areas on climate change where policy making still has quite a steep learning curve to go up.
So the goal of this is to accelerate the uptake in the European Union first of low carbon technologies. You have what we call the European Industrial Initiatives. That's on the EII, we call them. This is, and I will show you one example. This is how European industry sees the research challenge that they will not do individually for their competitive standing. They will not even go to their national governments. They will want to do it on the European Union altogether. This is not for all aspects, and they will have to identify as industry where they think they should cooperate. We heard about the research community. That's what we call the ERA, European Energy Research Alliance, where I think my predecessor has very well explained what they do. Again, avoid duplication, work on the big themes together, and share where necessary infrastructure and resources. And then we have the governments. This is on director general level, the steering group. The steering group is also, it's not a group that can decide who does what, or the commission is patronizing people. It's just saying, sharing information and seeing where it makes sense for countries to work together. All this is based on goodwill, on nothing else. So we think such a system could also be transposed to a broader alliance when you think about CCS, when you think about the big challenges to work with other people.
A carbon-neutral economy requires a radical change of technology in key sectors in the society. This will require new competencies at all levels of the workforce, and the importance of education was underlined.
In order to make new solutions work, We need cooperation. Cooperation between academia, government and business. And it's in everyone's interest. How then do we work together? Well, the technologies we have today will take us a long way, but not far enough. There is a need for further development and an increased research effort in order to build the society of tomorrow in a climate-friendly manner. And in order to achieve that, we need to educate more scientists that are fit for the challenge, and that is a task that starts in primary school.
How has this kind of thinking affected your education of civil engineers and engineers in general? How have you included that? Because that's also something that we would like here in DTU to take a lead in, how we educate engineers to manage sustainable development.
The one thing we have done and tried to do, and I think that this has worked relatively well, is to help students understand how complex and interrelated and interlinked the energy systems of the planet are, and how essential they are to the way we operate modern societies, and at the same time to think about the fact that while there's no single simple solution to these problems, there are lots of component elements that can contribute, and we heard about a number of them here today.
DTU had prepared a conference statement giving recommendations on fast-track development and deployment of technology. The statement gives recommendations to policy level and also to industry and science. The policy statement will be part of the contributions to the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP15, in Copenhagen in December 2009, and the Danish Prime Minister highlighted in his video message to the conference the importance of developing new technology to solve the climate challenge.
It is time for the world to come together and deliver a viable solution. A solution that provides a strong response to climate change, a solution that stimulates green growth and sustainable development. We will not reach the 2-degree goal without comprehensive and close global cooperation between the political level, the industry and science. Your conference today and the preceding DTU Climate Change Technologies workshops is in this perspective a very important initiative. During the last year, you have brought together governmental officials, scientists and business representatives to identify some of the practical solutions that are needed for both mitigation and adaptation efforts. And practical solutions are exactly what decision makers are demanding. We, at the political level, ask what you can do. You provide us with answers and you remind us what we need to do to make it happen. As the host of COP15, I welcome the report and the conference statement you have prepared. Your ideas and recommendations will form a valuable contribution to our work before, during and after COP15. So, thank you very much.
The conference contributions, the panel discussions and the debate with the audience gave valuable input and viewpoints to the further process. This was underlined by DTU's president in his closing remarks.
During the last year and at this conference today, we have discussed technological solutions to the climate challenge and reached some innovative conclusions and recommendations. However, these conclusions and recommendations are not worth much if they're not implemented. Action is of the essence. We all await the outcome of the COP15 negotiations, but regardless of the results and the agreed targets, there is a need for an accelerated process. At DTU, we will, in the coming year, make a dedicated effort to build even stronger partnerships with academia, industry and government. And one of our goals is to ensure that the future engineers gain an action-oriented understanding of how climate change technologies constitute an important part of all technological aspects of society.
You are welcome to download the DTU conference report recommendations on accelerated development and deployment of climate change technologies, and the DTU conference statement on www.dtu.dk/climate. At the same site, you can also view all the conference contributions in their full length.